My daughter-in-law left my granddaughter at my house, but the next morning her whisper changed everything, a truth so shocking that it forced me to seek help from the law immediately. My daughter-in-law left my granddaughter at my house, but the next morning her whisper changed everything, an awful truth that forced me to turn to the law immediately. It was 6:30 in the morning. I was making coffee when Lily walked into the kitchen barefoot. She didn't look sleepy. She looked scared. She grabbed the edge of my sweater and stepped so close I had to bend down to hear her. "Grandma. Mom told me not to tell anyone, but that man came into our room last night." My hand froze around the coffee mug. "Which man?" I asked gently. She lowered her head. "Derek. He said if I made noise, Mom would get in trouble." For a moment, I couldn't breathe. I didn't react the way my body wanted to. When children share something like that, you have to stay steady. If they see panic, they shut down. I brushed my hand through her hair. "You're safe here. No one can touch you here." Kelly, my daughter-in-law, had dropped Lily off the night before. "Just for one night," she'd said. "I have some personal stuff to handle." Her eyes were red, but I didn't push. Things between us had been tense ever since my son died. After he passed, everything unraveled. Kelly moved on quickly, too quickly, in my opinion. Derek showed up in family pictures before we had even finished sorting through my son's belongings. I kept quiet. I told myself it wasn't my place. Until that morning. I sat Lily in front of the TV with her favorite cartoons, then went into my bedroom and shut the door. My hands were shaking, but my voice stayed level when I dialed 911. "I need to report possible child endangerment." Once the words left my mouth, I knew there was no turning back. Officers arrived within minutes. A female officer spoke to Lily privately while I stood in the hallway, every word landing on my chest like a weight. Lily repeated what she had told me, calmly, clearly, with details no 5-year-old invents. This wasn't confusion. It wasn't imagination. It was fear. 2 hours later, Kelly called. "Why did you call the police? Have you lost your mind?" Her voice shook, not just with anger, but with something else. Panic. "I'm not crazy," I said evenly. "I'm her grandmother. And I'm not staying quiet." She hung up on me. Child Protective Services opened an investigation that same day. I knew this road wouldn't be easy. I wasn't wealthy. I worked as a cashier at a grocery store. The bank had nearly taken my house the year before. I was still paying off medical bills from my son's accident. I didn't have savings for lawyers or drawn-out court fights. But I had something else, certainty. 2 days later, there was an emergency hearing for temporary custody. Kelly showed up looking exhausted, dark circles under her eyes. Derek didn't appear. The judge reviewed the initial police report and Lily's statement. After a long pause that felt like a lifetime, he granted temporary custody to me until the investigation was complete. Outside the courtroom, Kelly exploded. "You've ruined my life." For the first time, I looked her straight in the eye without flinching. "No. You did that yourself. I'm protecting my granddaughter." My voice didn't shake. Something inside me had shifted. Over the next few weeks, more information surfaced. Derek had prior complaints, nothing that had led to conviction, but enough to paint a pattern. Kelly had ignored the warning signs. Loneliness, grief, financial dependence, it had all clouded her judgment. She wanted stability so badly that she convinced herself everything was fine. But when evidence started stacking up, denial wasn't an option. She ended things with Derek. One evening, she came to my door. No makeup. No defensive posture. "I'm starting therapy," she said quietly. "I messed up." Her voice cracked in a way I hadn't heard before. I kept the door open, but I kept my boundary clear. "You're her mother," I said. "But her safety is my responsibility too. Until I'm certain she's safe, she stays here." We arranged supervised visits. We followed the court order. There was no dramatic movie ending where everyone hugged and forgave. Trust doesn't rebuild that way. It comes back slowly, layer by layer, choice by choice. Meanwhile, Lily began to change. She slept through the night without waking up crying. She started leaving the bathroom door open again. She entered a drawing contest at school and won second place. Her teacher pulled me aside one afternoon and said, "She smiles more now." One night, Lily climbed onto the couch beside me and asked, "Grandma, why did you call the police?" I thought carefully before answering. "Because sometimes adults need help too," I said. "And when someone tells you to stay quiet about something that feels wrong, that's exactly when you speak." She nodded, as if she understood more than most 5-year-olds should have to. "I'm still not rich. Bills still come. I still work overtime when I can. Some months are tight. Some nights I lie awake wondering what the future holds. But my house is peaceful. Every morning before school, Lily wraps her arms around my waist and says, 'Love you, Grandma.' And I know that her whisper that morning didn't break us, it woke us up. People sometimes ask if I regret involving the law. If I worry about what it did to Kelly. If I think I went too far. I don't. This wasn't about revenge. Revenge would have been watching Kelly fall apart and feeling satisfied. That's not what I wanted. What I wanted was silence, not to win. I knocked on the door of the law because I knew I couldn't protect Lily alone. The system isn't perfect. Justice isn't always clean or complete. But sometimes it's enough. Kelly is still in therapy. Our conversations are careful but civil. She attends supervised visits consistently. She's trying. And I hope, for Lily's sake, that she keeps trying. Sometimes a miracle isn't everything going back to normal. Sometimes a miracle is simply refusing to look away from the truth. That morning, I could have hesitated. I could have doubted Lily. I could have convinced myself I misunderstood. It would have been easier. Quieter. But quiet can be dangerous. I didn't choose quiet. And because I didn't, a little girl learned that her voice matters. That's enough for me. If this story touched your heart and reminded you how powerful it is to speak up, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps us share more real, meaningful stories that matter. Thank you for watching and standing with voices that refuse to stay silent.